a home state call. We've got, is it Jerikia in Killeen, Texas?
It's Jerichiah.
Jerichiah, I'm sorry. I don't even know if they spelled that right. Does it have a K or a CH? Forget it, it doesn't matter.
Jerichiah.
Hi, Jerichiah.
How are you?
Hi, how are y'all doing? Pretty good, thank you.
Good, thanks. What's up?
Hey, so I had a question about your worldview.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious, from a theistic perspective, being a non-denominational Christian, I'm just curious, how come atheists don't actually practice or live out their worldview?
I do not know what you mean. You're going to have to get more specific.
Atheists per se don't have a worldview. Each individual person, each person does, but there's not one atheist worldview that 100 million atheists share.
Right. Atheism is one perspective on one topic that maybe informs the rest of our thinking, but does not determine everything else that we think.
Was there a specific thing?
Phil and I are really geeky about math, and a lot of atheists are not.
Is there a specific?
I mean, but atheists can't answer the four most important questions about life philosophically.
Important is subjective.
And even if they can't, doesn't mean we're wrong.
What are the four most important questions about life? I'm biting.
It would be origin, meaning, morality, and destiny. And I even beg to differ. Atheists.
Those aren't questions.
Humanity, no hope.
Yeah, I didn't hear a question mark.
Yeah.
Can you give us one question to start with?
So from a philosophical perspective, can you prove to me the origin and the historical evidence of why somebody would be an atheist when they contradict their own worldview within the frame they live?
Okay, you're back to the first question that I didn't understand.
I think was that a question? I think it was.
Well,
it was a bad question.
The question was, can you?
But I think it's a loaded question.
Since I didn't quite understand the question, I'm just going to say no. Next.
Okay,
can you dumb things down for us a little? Because we're just simple-minded atheists.
Yeah. I apologize because I thought Christians couldn't be logical like atheists.
Well,
that's what you think.
Guess.
Because the origin of life, I mean, how do you even explain the Big Bang Theory? Well, what I find hysterically funny is how atheists reject the evidence we have of Scripture and the manuscripts that are passed down from generations, and yet they deny the God of the Bible, but yet they can't even prove millions of years ago what happened.
Okay.
Do you know why? Okay. Do you know why scientists, and I'm not talking about atheists, but just cosmologists in general, have concluded that there was a Big Bang?
Yeah. In the beginning, God spoke.
No, that's not why cosmologists have concluded that. That's why you have. But the concept of a Big Bang wasn't around 100 years ago. So do you understand where people came to that conclusion in the first place?
Yeah, through science.
Okay.
I like that.
Can you be more specific, though? I mean, was it biology? There are a lot of topics that science covers. All right, so let me help you out a little bit. When you look at light, so you know how light can appear at different colors depending on the wavelength of light. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so things that have longer wavelengths look red to us, and if they're even longer than that, then we can't see them because they're infrared and beyond. Things that have very short wavelengths look blue or purple to us, and if they're too short, then we can't see them either because our eyes don't work that way. But what scientists have observed is that when things are moving very quickly, like close to the speed of light, or maybe not all that close. By the way, my dad is a physicist, and he's sitting in the audience right now, and I feel his eyes on me. Sorry I didn't stick with the physics classes, Dad. I'm doing my best. When things are moving quickly, they experience a shift toward the red.
If they're moving away.
Yes, moving away. Because even though the wavelength of the light doesn't change, their motion relative to you seems to be longer. What scientists observed was that if you look out at any point in space, everything is a little bit more redshifted than you would expect it to be based on what we know about the composition of stars. And from this, they concluded that everything in the universe is moving away from us very rapidly.
And the farther away, the more rapid.
Yes. The farther away things get, the more rapid they are. And that is consistent with going back into the past and finding that at one point everything was locally existing within the same small area and things were expanding from there. Now, does the Big Bang say what happened at the start of that? No. Do we know what that is? We have some... Okay, how do you know that?
Where in the Bible does it say Big Bang?
Yeah, the Bible does not say Big Bang. This is something that Christians have just latched onto since it was discovered by other people.
Because more than 100 years ago, Christians argued that the fact that the universe was finite was supported in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, they did. Okay, you may think that they were mistaken and they were misreading the Bible, but they did argue that a long time ago.
No, I believe you. I'm not saying they didn't argue.
Well, you said no.
You did say no.
But did that explanation make sense to you? Because you're asking why do atheists believe in the Big Bang, and I gave you the answer. Is that a sensible conclusion?
Well, what caused the Big Bang?
We don't know.
Don't know.
And sometimes God. I don't know is the right answer.
No, God is the answer.
How do you know?
I don't need to know.
Well, there you go. Why are you asking how I know something if you have no idea what you're talking about?
And we actually want it to be true, not just because you believe it. Can you support what you believe?
Yes, I can.
Then let's try that for a change.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, everything you said is scientifically, science. I mean, what does science mean? It just means knowledge, epistemology and
Is this
stuff
part
like
of your
that.
evidence, or are you dodging the question?
No, I'm not dodging the question. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and God said, "Let there be light."
How do you know that?
Light. I don't need to know that. How do you know that?
Okay. Why are we talking then? If you don't feel like there's anything that you have to tell us that's useful information because you don't know it or need to, then why did you call?
You said you have evidence and then you don't provide any. Why is that?
Well, the evidence is in the Bible itself.
Yeah, but we don't believe the Bible.
That's fine. I don't believe in atheism.
Okay. Well, then, good chat. Next.
So do you have evidence or not?
Yeah, prophecy alone proves the divinity of God.
Oh, so you do think that's evidence?
Oh, yeah, it's sufficient.
Okay. Hit me with your favorite prophecy. Make it a good one.
Isaiah 53.
Uh-huh.
The book of Isaiah was written 700 years before the Messiah
just give us the prophecy.
Yeah. Tell us what it says and what happened.
If you read Isaiah, the book of Isaiah was written 700 years before Christ even came. Jesus came AD 1. The prophet Isaiah prophesied of the suffering servant, which even Orthodox Jews understand this passage to be a messianic prophecy. And if you read the entire chapter, no other person in history has fulfilled this but Jesus Christ.
There have been no other suffering servants in history?
Not that, no, people have suffered, but they do not fulfill every single verse in this chapter like Jesus does.
Like what?
I mean, if you read verse 3, he's despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows.
Oh, okay. Good thing Jesus was the only despised and rejected person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is an amazing prophecy. And remember, I asked you to bring your favorite one, and that was the first one that you came up with.
Now, I have a question for you as far as the Bible. When people wrote the books of the New Testament, were they able to read the Old Testament?
Were they able to read the Old Testament? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when someone wrote books or stories to put in what became the New Testament, they could read what was previously written.
Yes.
Change the story to fulfill what was written before.
No, not at all.
They couldn't?
Well, I think I could do that if I read an old Batman story. I can incorporate some of those themes into a new Batman story.
I guess I am a more creative author than those guys, because I could totally write you a Messiah story right now that fulfills the prophecies better.
No, what you don't understand is this was written 700 years before Christ even came.
That is a really long time to be able to come up with a story that fits it.
And no one else in history fulfills that prophecy.
No one else?
No one? So
every
far
single human?
you've told us that there is a suffering servant, okay? I think most servants suffer. And what was the other one? He was despised. Maybe he was a douchebag.
Rejected of men. No, maybe he's just fulfilling prophecy because you're actually rejecting him as well.
I reject the Easter Bunny as well.
What? Okay, so if I accepted him, then the call would be over, because you'd be like, well, yeah, you accept him, good job. If I don't accept him, then obviously it's true, because not accepting him proves that he's fulfilling the prophecy. That's pretty weak.
No, it's pretty strong, I would
Okay, if you say so.
Pretty safe. Because there's prophecies in the Bible that are fulfilled, and only Christ could fulfill those prophecies.
All right, so he was a suffering servant, and he was despised. What else?
If you keep going down to verses 5, it says, "But he was wounded for our transgressions, and he was bruised for our iniquities."
I don't accept that happened.
He was crucified. It's historically proven. What are you talking
about? For our transgressions? There are a million stories in movies and literature about people getting hurt for other people.
Yeah, but what you don't understand is that you're not even opening your mind to the possibility.
Well, no, you are assuming the validity of the story that you're trying to prove to us, and so you are
true.
How?
Well, how do you know it's true?
Because
if you would share this with us, what? If you would share this with us, then maybe it would be convincing, but all you're doing is pointing to aspects of the story that we're not finding convincing.
Well, I don't understand how you don't see how he fits the prophecy. If you read it and you know anything about Jesus, he's the only one in history that fulfilled this prophecy from Isaiah chapter 53, verse 1, all the way to verse 12.
I don't like to crib off other Atheist Experience hosts, but I do, on occasion, enjoy Matt's comment, which is, if I order a steak and the waiter brings it to me, did he fulfill my prophecy?
No, because that wasn't thousands of years ago.
Oh.
What if I order a steak last year and it comes to me this year?
Actually, I think ordering a steak and it coming immediately is a better fulfillment of the prophecy.
True.
Because, I mean, that guy was at least timely. If all you're doing is saying there's going to be an earthquake, and then 1,000 years down the road there's an earthquake, that doesn't really count as me predicting that earthquake, right?
Well, I mean, that's fine. You have an opinion. You know, you have your own opinion. You're entitled to your own opinion.
Does it? What do you think about Nostradamus?
Nostradamus?
Yeah.
He made predictions.
Yeah, and a lot of people said he specifically predicted 9/11, for example. He didn't, but a lot of people said he did, and retrofitted a lot of stuff in the actual story to match the things that they thought he was saying. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, but that is irrelevant to the scriptures.
Well, how about this for a different topic? The Bible promotes slavery. Are you pro-slavery?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
All right. Well, then you're not a very good Christian.
That's not true, because if you read Exodus chapter 21, the Hebrew word for slavery is ebed, actually. And if you go back 4,000 years ago, every single nation had slaves. And number one,
so that makes it okay. That's
okay.
nice.
No,
that's nice.
No, I didn't say that it was okay. That's not what I'm saying.
It is what you said.
God said it was okay.
God said it was okay because he doesn't know better.
Do you know better than God?
Do I know better than God? No, I would never.
Then why is slavery wrong?
Why is slavery wrong?
Why didn't God know slavery was wrong?
God could have mentioned it. I mean, you know, he had a lot of really, really detailed things about, like, not eating milk and meat, or not bathing a calf in its mother's milk.
Thou shalt not roast a goat in its mother's milk.
That's the one. I think it was calf. But, I mean, he had a whole lot of specific things to say that may have been unpopular at the time. Did he just forget to bring up slavery, or what?
No, not at all. And, you know, I deal with this a lot, actually, with a lot of atheists. And, I mean, it's understandable. I understand why you could propose that objection against the Bible. But
it's because it's pretty rational.
Regardless, there was slavery in that time. And God told Moses, this is how slavery is actually going
God was not one to buck social convention. Is that it? God was afraid he'd get too many thumbs down on Twitter or something. Or Twitter doesn't have thumbs down, but too many angry faces on Facebook. That's what I meant.
So as long as you beat your slave and they survive a day or two, you're okay with that?
That's actually you're quoting from Exodus 21. And actually, I mean, if you have to study it more, you can't just pick and choose that one verse, because, I mean, what exactly you're referring to is in Exodus 21, talking about slavery, verses 1 through 2. Now, these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them, thou by a Hebrew servant. 6 years shall he serve, and all that stuff. And it says, if a man smite verse 26, if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. So
the part about striking him so hard that, I mean, as long as he lives a day or two, there's no punishment at all. That's fine. Because there's other stuff in the Bible that says other things.
No, not at all. Because if he did that, it would be done back to him.
No.
The whole Mosaic law.
Not according to that part of the Bible.
Okay, I mean, but what I'm showing you is that, number one, you cannot compare slavery in the Bible to slavery that was in the world.
Oh, cool. Can I own slaves now then?
But you just said slavery was in every country. You compared it to the world.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
And
we win.
Gave them freedom and liberty on certain days to do whatever they did. And if they served their time, they would go out for free.
Oh, good. Can I own slaves now?
No, because of the Old Covenant, which is done away.
Well, Jesus said that he didn't come to change the Old Covenant. He came to fulfill it.
Not one jot or tittle of the law.
Exactly. He came to fulfill it. That means it's been inaugurated.
So
you have to read Jeremiah 31, where the prophet said that he's going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
At what point did Jesus say that it's not okay to own slaves anymore?
At the point that he never owned a slave and none of his disciples did.
Okay, well, I mean, Jesus never got married either. Is it no longer okay to get married?
No, the Bible says to be married to a man.
And the Bible says to own slaves.
Jesus didn't have slaves, so based on your logic,
didn't comment on the slaves.
No man should ever marry a woman. That's your argument.
No, it's not my argument. What I'm trying to say, if you give me time to say it, is that what you don't understand is covenant in the Bible.
Okay, I guess I don't.
If you read the prophet Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31, he says that the covenant that I'm making with the house of Israel and Judah, which Christ fulfills, is the fulfillment. Jesus is the fulfillment of the old covenant. That means we no longer live according to the old covenant, but we live according to the new covenant. That's why you don't see slavery in the New Testament.
Why can't I keep owning slaves, though? It didn't tell me not to.
Because it was fulfilled. Christ fulfilled the law.
So do the Ten Commandments still apply?
Yes, that's the moral law.
Because that was in the Old Testament.
Those were fulfilled.
Yeah.
I guess I can dishonor my father and mother now, because Jesus fulfilled the honoring of the father and mother, and so I get to do what I want.
No, please listen to me, okay? You're talking about two different laws. The law of Moses is not the law of God.
How do you know they're different laws?
We're just trying to find the difference.
Is it written which book is
on stone tablets?
Okay, so Moses is a higher authority than God.
Is it the 42 rules or the 10 that only stuck?
It's just the 10.
So the first
by the moral law of God.
The first commandments that Moses got that he smashed, those don't count?
No, because they had broke the commandments by worshiping a false golden calf.
Golden calf?
Oh.
That's why he
I
went
don't remember
down
saying
there.
calf. I remember idol.
Golden calf, yeah.
Is it calf?
Sorry, that one is right.
So Moses had a whole bunch of rules and he smashed it, so those don't apply because he broke them.
The Mosaic Covenant is of no longer effect, and that's where you're quoting the slavery laws.
The Mosaic Covenant being including the 10 Commandments? I'm lost.
Yeah, it's so complicated.
Yeah.
No,
Do you have any evidence outside of the storybook of the Bible?
There's historical evidence that Jesus existed.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Jesus did exist, so what? I
So
exist.
Christians
Are you
believe
listening
he's
to what
God.
I say?
That's the proof of God's existence.
What?
I mean, what do Orthodox Christians believe? They believe that Jesus is God. And when God came to the earth, what did man do? We killed him.
I didn't kill him.
I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it.
Humanity. Neither did I. I wasn't there.
Okay.
Were you there?
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wait, Ken.
Ken Ham.
Sorry,
Ham.
I get my goofy apologists mixed up.
So we only have 12 minutes.
Yeah,
calls.
okay. Well, I don't think this is going to go anywhere more, but you are welcome, Jerichiah, to call back another week and bug somebody else.
Thank you for calling.
Hey, and I want to say one thing before I go.
Go ahead.
Don't mind, please.
Yep.
I speak. I'm a Christian, non-denominational believer. I do want to apologize for every Christian who was called in the past and threatened you guys, because I don't believe in that stuff, man, and that was so un-Christ-like.
Oh,
well, they aren't real Christians anyway.
That's right. Yes. Thank you.
That was easy.
Moving